Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got Poland Can in Space. Yep, that's the game name. Playing the Tier 7 Russian battleship Sinop. Now, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about this game other than the accompanying few words that arrived with the replay file, and it basically amounted to, after this game, I think I have to agree the Sinop is overpowered. Went nose into JB and Alaska and something else and managed to hold his own. So yeah, there definitely is an argument to be made for the Russian battleships being a little bit, maybe a little too tanky. If they go bow in, they are exceptionally tough, and because of the way their repairs work and their heals work, they're really tough to sink, especially if they've got Kuznetsov, the premium commander, in a random match. But having said all of that, they do have a fairly big Achilles heel, and that is if you can get to their broadside, you can do a lot of damage. I personally have never seen a one-shot destruction of a Russian battleship from broadside AP, but I bet it's happened because they are very vulnerable from broadside shots. Maybe we'll get to see some of that in this game. A little bit of information about the Sinop. It's got a max dispersion on these guns of 220 meters at max range, which you can see on the minimap there, 17.4 kilometers. The HE max damage per shell, 5850. The AP max damage per shell, 12,950. So obviously, the AP is pretty devastating. It also has pretty nice penetration values, and you can do a lot of damage with this AP. There are let's see, what's the reload on this on these guns is standard 33 seconds. That's the standard reload on these guns. You can make that better if you take damage and you've got adrenaline rush or something, but you figure around there. Max speed, 27 knots. Load up the signal to get things going a little bit faster. I think this Seattle's just gonna nose in here. If he does and stops, these battleships are just gonna wreck him. Okay, it turns out, and manages to avoid getting shot. Okay, so you can kind of get some idea of what the Sinop can do. That was a 10,406 damage from that volley on the JB. Now the JB is a big threat because the Jean Bar can move really fast, and it has a reload booster on the guns, which allows it to be able to move into position to get broadside shots. Not always, but if the player is canny and knows what they're doing, they can get those broadside shots. They can zoom into position, fire off a volley into your broadside, hit the reload booster, get off another volley, maybe even, and that can be devastatingly powerful. Right now, though, the JB is backing up, and 3 of those shells that did make contact ricocheted. So, okay, so taking a look at the wider picture, the bad guys have secured the Charlie cap. Looks like they're really close to securing the Alpha cap. If they can push that Mahan back, they're going to lock it down. And I think that's going to happen. You know, Rune is, I'm sure, a huge threat for the Mahan. The Mahan's probably thinking, I'm about to get detected here. I've got to get out of here. But we'll see. If he doesn't, that Rune will wreck the Mahan. Also, taking a look at the minimap, just at the outside eastern edge of the Alpha cap, there it is. That's what I was getting ready to refer to. The Leningrad, really fast. You got to lead it quite a bit. Just manages to catch the tail end of the ship there for a little bit of damage, that's no easy task. Alaska lobbed some shells over the island there for a little damage on Poland. Rune has pushed around the corner. Mahan is kind of exposed, and with a Scharnhorst on his port side, Poland can't really turn out very well here. And I'm expecting torpedoes to come through this gap, if not now, anytime. Good guys have lost a Monarch, and I think I'd pull the trigger now. A little bit of damage. Here come the torpedoes. Scharnhorst was in the way as expected. Now the Scharnhorst is turning out. If the rune threw torpedoes out ahead of him, he's able to eat some of that. Jean Bar does take out the Mohan, and the good guys, Felix Schultz takes out the red Friesland. So, good guys are down 2 ships, bad guys are down 1. Bad guys have secured the Charlie Cap. Good guys were close to getting Alpha, but it looks like the red team is going to pick up Alpha as well. And Mahan's a little upset that these battleships didn't rush in there, I guess. Seattle points out that the JB just used his repair. Yikes. Okay, so JB gets even a little bit of broadside on the Sinop, and you can see the damage that he took. And these guns, with a 60-second traverse time to get him around 180 degrees, that rune's going to be able to potentially to get away. But it looks like instead of turning out, he's just going to continue to run flat broadside. Now he's starting to wake up, but I think it's going to be too late. Nope, he manages to survive until the Baltic gets guns on him. Scharnhorst, who did push in, well, he just got completely blapped. Now JB's currently reversing. You can tell that by the little red dot over the ship there. That's going to change to yellow, which means he's probably going to accelerate forward. That turns green, he's pushing in. Now, if you are not using the mod station, which is Wargaming approved, in fact, mod station it's their software. They load some very nice mods into the mod station for you, and it allows you to use the Wargaming World of Warships approved mods. That's how that little red dot, well, now our little green dot, is showing up over the ship. You can tell by the smoke, but at certain angles it's really hard to tell whether a ship is reversing or moving forward. You can tell if your computer can handle the higher graphic settings. You can see by the wake that the ship is making in the water, whether it's reversing or going forward. But a lot of people don't have that, and they really can't tell. So those little dots help a lot, and I recommend anybody who's not using the Wargaming mod station, go download it and give it a try. I've got a couple primer videos that you can find here on our ICOP YouTube page that'll give you some idea how it works. And once you start using it, I think you're probably never going to want to go back and be without it. It's really, really nice. And JB definitely is pushing in. There's no doubt about it. Some chip damage on the Alaska, and I think Poland right now is just trying to avoid getting broadsided by the JB. And the JB is going to wreck the Seattle and the Baltimore if he gets in close. And that's what he's doing. You can see he's at full speed now. He's got his guns aimed toward those cruisers. Now maybe the cruisers will drag him down, but I'm sure he's going to take at least one of them out, if not both of them. But he's taking fire, the JB, from, I'm sure, Marco Polo, Palmer, and Jaeger. He does take out the Baltic. Meanwhile, oh, nice. Poland picks up the kill with secondaries. Lands a shot on the Gneiss now, but not a whole lot of damage there. And Poland is now nose in to the Alaska. Now, one thing to keep in mind here, Gneisenau has great speed. Um, if he pushes toward Poland, he's got torpedoes available. And they hit pretty hard, and that's what it looks like he's doing. It looks like he's going to go around the island. He's just running full speed there. I think he's way too late to make a turn and head in this way, and he probably wouldn't want to with Marco Polo, Aegir, Palmer, Seattle all just kind of sitting there waiting. Yeah, he's definitely running behind the island. Now, if he comes around the north end of that island and gets in that gap, between those two islands, the north side of A, then Poland's going to have to worry about those torpedoes. Also, just the Gneisenau AP hurts, especially at closer ranges. Gets a shot out on the Eddy. I think that's a good idea. Might have missed your opportunity when the Eddy was more broadside, but still some chip damage on the Eddy. I would stay to the left side here a little bit. Try and keep the Alaska from being able to get shells on you in case you have to go nose in. You've got Edinburgh has 10-kilometer torpedoes you're going to have to worry about if Eddy keeps pushing in. I think I'd keep going on the same line you're on right now, Poland, and limit the damage the Alaska can do. In fact, if you get close enough to this island, you can kind of hug it and force the Alaska to have to move in order to be able to get guns on you. Poland he's bringing the nose around to starboard. That's dangerous. Alaska at this range, that AP can just punch right through, especially on a Russian broadside. I expect Poland's going to start taking some big damage, and it's not going to be long till that Gneisenau comes around from behind Poland. No torpedo threat as long as the Edinburgh is nose in like that. I think sitting here is probably not going to work out well. And there's the Gneisenau, kind of as expected. And Gneisenau's going to have a broadside shot on Poland here, and he's also, I'm sure, going to be tossing torpedoes out this way. Alaska has switched to HE. Briefly had Poland burning. And this is still anybody's game. Good guys have 6 ships, bad guys are down to 5, but the bad guys have had a lot of cap for a lot of time, and that's given them a well over 500 point lead. Alaska gets dragged down by Pommern, thank goodness. Here come the torpedoes. And it looks like Poland's going to be able to get out of the way of the torpedoes. He's got his heel going now. Hopefully he'll get a little help with this Edinburgh. Secondaries are firing on Gneisenau, but Gneisenau might be more worried about the Palmer at this point. Come on, let's finish off that Eddy. Not one overpen. Somebody will get him. You see, Eddy's trying to heal up. Gneisenau still trying to finish off Poland here. And Eddy has repaired quite a bit of damage there. Almost got him. Maybe with this. There we go. Citadel shot. Nicely done. Got to watch for those torpedoes. Gneisenau's on his last leg. 83 hit points left. And our hero is kind of pushing nose into the Francesco Caracciolo and an Iowa. He might be able to finish off the Caracciolo here, but it's only going to take a shell just kind of brushing some paint off of his broadside to sink Poland's Sinop. He does finish up the Caracciolo. Caracciolo returns the favor, but that's 3 kills for Poland.